Oh, yes, it's gonna be okay. Isn't that little boy with all the curly hair playing the cello just the cutest thing you've ever seen? Ah, good God morning to all of you. So welcome to the Sacramento Center for Spiritual Living. Why don't we unmute and greet each other to begin with? Everybody, get off mute.
Okay.
Hello, hello. Good morning.
Hello, beautiful, perfect people.
Hello to Sacramento. Hello, Mr. Patrick.
Patrick.
Good to see everyone.
Hi, Tricia. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Diane. Long distance.
Okay. Housekeeping. You all know the housekeeping. We're going to be recording this. You're welcome to turn off your video or change your username. I see we have the Ghost of Christmas Past here, so we know that at least one person has taken us up on that offer. The social hour at the end is not going to be recorded, so come back on that one as yourself. We do have a wonderful website. Please check it out so that you can stay up to date with all of our activities. We also do Meetup and Instagram and Facebook. So there's lots of ways to keep track of us. We have 2 books of the month, one going for each part of our theme. One is New Designs by Ernest Holmes, which is our timeless wisdom. Our Evolutionary Vision is See No Stranger. It is a lovely book, very personal, very heart-touching. I could recommend both of them. So please, if they strike a bell on you, please start reading. And now, to honor those who came before us. I need to change my view here a little bit. To honor those who came before us and upon whose holy land we stand, we acknowledge the indigenous peoples of this land who have lived here since time immemorial. Sacramento is the ancestral tribal land of the Nishanan people. We also honor the Southern Maidu people to the north, the Valley and Plains Miwok people to the south of the American River, and the Patwin Wintun people to the west of the Sacramento River. And now, I'd like to introduce our marvelous Margie, our practitioner of the day, for our invocation. Please deepen us into this morning.
Oh, and taking that in, it's going to be okay, because we are encircled and embraced by the Father, Mother, God of all there is. And as I know that this is true for me and you and everyone listening and everyone on the planet, I know it's true as we go along and we bless our service today. We're so grateful for all that we have. Reverend Patricia is our guest speaker today, and Ruth doing our production and all that, and all of you. And we bless it and we just release the day and enjoy. And so it is. And now sit back and enjoy our readings for today. There is the universal mind, spirit, intelligence, and it is the origin of everything. It is first cause. It is God. This universal life and energy finds an outlet in and through everything that lives. There is only one spirit back of all expression. Science in my textbook. Our movement will not depend on the talks such as I am giving you right now. Our evolution, what it will mean to the world, will not depend on the books we write. It will depend on what we do with it. It will depend on someone knowing enough about it to cause something to happen because of what he knows. Ernest Holmes. Anything that's human is mentionable, and anything that is mentionable can be more manageable. When we can talk about our feelings, they become less overwhelming, less upsetting, and less scary. And that's from Fred Rogers. God does not accept our ideas of what constitutes justice, love, and mercy, but God imparts to us its idea of justice, love, and mercy if we listen for the still small voice. Joel Goldsmith, The Thunder of Silence. Enjoy our guided meditation and our music, and then our wonderful guest speaker, Reverend Patricia VanWoerkom. Thank you.
This is a short visualization that you can use at the beginning of the day, in the middle of the day, or before you go to sleep at night. Now close your eyes and take several slow, deep breaths and allow yourself to just settle in and relax. Breathe in through your nose. Hold the breath for just a second or two and exhale through your mouth. Now call to mind one of the goals that you have, a desire that you have. Now see yourself as having realized this goal in your life right now. What would you be doing if this goal already existed in your life? How would your life be different if this goal already manifested in your life? See yourself having and enjoying that desire in your life right now. How do you feel having this desire already true for you? How does that feel? Do you have peace of mind? Are you excited? Do you feel free, joyful, appreciative? Continue focusing on seeing yourself having this goal in your life already. And notice just how good you feel. See as many details as possible. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes.
Is always present, nowhere to be. Then where you are, the power of now flows oh so gracefully. The power of now is always perfect, nothing to be. Then who you are, the power of now flows oh so easy. Be strong enough to let go of everything you think you need to control. For everything goes away. Let everything wash away. The power of now. The power of now is ever flowing, connecting the soul to the one. The power of now unfolds so peacefully. Be willing to let go of everything you think you need to know. Oh, be strong enough to let go of everything you think you need to control. For everything goes away. Let everything wash away. The power of now. The power of now. The power of now. The power of now.
That was beautiful. So beautiful. Good morning again. As you know, CSL has an annual vision, timeless wisdom, and evolutionary vision. And from timeless wisdom, I selected one of CSL's shared values to represent that. And it's transformation and evolution. And it means we do our deep inner personal work of self-discovery and healing to reveal the greater truth of our divinity, wholeness, and freedom. Isn't that a wonderful value that we hold as an organization and individually if we choose? For the evolutionary vision, I picked this from CSL's global vision statement. We envision a world in which we live and grow as one global family that respects and honors the interconnectedness of all life. A world where this kinship with all life prospers and connects to the guidance of spiritual wisdom and experience. And for the month of May, the theme is Holy, Holy Uprising. Holy as in W-H-O-L-L-Y, whole. It's about being in the world in a complete and integrated way. To find ways of bringing our teaching as modeled as our own lives into the world. Now, the original talk title for this week was called Say Their Names. And most people have heard that phrase and understand the significance of it. It reflects the need to remember our history and to honor those who went before us, especially those that suffered for the injustices of our society. I think of Harriet Tubman, of the strange fruit that Billie Holiday beautifully and heartbreakingly memorialized for us in her song. Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and Fred Hampton, Trayvon Martin, Michael Brown, Breonna Taylor. We're coming up to the 1-year anniversary of George Floyd, and we just now are learning about Ronald Green's 2019 death in Louisiana. That one hit me like a gut punch. So unexpected. Because of bystander video and police body cams, we are able to see and hear these tragedies until it's almost all that we can see on the news. And we do need to know our history. We do need to honor those whose blood and suffering and deaths have awakened us to injustice. From the wise Mr. Rogers in our opening reading, he says, when we can talk about our feelings, they become less overwhelming, less upsetting, and less scary. And boy, do I have feelings about what is happening socially in our world. I see history being rewritten to tell me that what I observed on January 6th and what I heard on January 6th isn't what actually happened. Shades of 1984 and doublespeak. Sheesh Louise. So finding ways to remember and honor our history and to really remember what happened and finding rituals to help us manage and understand our feelings are critical. But this is only the first step on the path to transformation and evolution. We can't stop here. We need to keep moving. There's a deeper truth that we need to see. Einstein, one of my favorite quotes of his, says that we cannot solve our problems the same thinking that we used when we created them. There's much truth packed into that simple and powerful statement, so let's unpack it a bit. The human mind, by its very structure, is dualistic. Our visual cortex shapes how we perceive the world by overemphasizing the boundaries between things, exaggerating where they are different so that we can see clearly. So we see the world by seeing differences and not the unity. By recognizing, not by recognizing or noticing that which connects us. Add to that the realization that we do not see all that there is to see. Our sensory, our unconscious mind that is always on in the background can process 11 bits of information per second. 11 million bits of information per second. But the conscious mind, which operates in the foreground, can only process 50 bits per second. Now add to that we humans are meaning-making organisms. It's how we make sense of the world. We link events and label them cause and effect, and then we create stories about what they mean. This has been a great survival mechanism for us. We learn to identify the forerunners of danger, whether it be the natural world like the weather and its impact on physical safety and crops. Think hurricanes and tornadoes. Knowing the cause and effect of those has been enormously helpful. Or be it the man-made world, like deciphering the sights and sounds of traffic and other drivers' behaviors when we're on the road. This means that what we really see is our interpretation of the 0.00045% of the total information available that we can consciously process. And let's not even go into the theory behind how we select that tiny percentage out of the wealth of information that surrounds us. So we don't get it all. What we see is never all that there is. And the way we most frequently organize what we perceive is in dualistic terms, because there's just too much information to process. Sorting it into two giant baskets helps tremendously. Whether those baskets are labeled safe and not safe, or good and bad, or to my advantage and not to my advantage, or things with intrinsic value and things of no importance. We have a strong bias towards duality. And believe it or not, this is where religion and spirituality can best serve us. At the most simplistic level, they provide us a value-based framework into which we can dump all the data we have and shake it around till it sorts out to match the framework. Anything that doesn't match falls out. It's not so much a matter of thinking, but a matching task, so that we can incorporate the incoming data in a way that fits our beliefs. Change our beliefs, and we change our template, and we sort the world differently. And let me be clear here. Religious fundamentalists and enlightened secular humanists both do this. Political liberals and conservatives do this. Evangelical Christians and atheists do this. We all have our framework of beliefs that allow us to quickly and consistently sort information in order to make meaning that makes sense to us. Now, from an evolutionary point of view, this has been a very successful survival strategy. At a more complex level, religion and spirituality can give us a totally different way of perceiving and processing data, a different way of seeing the world. At its best, both religion and spirituality are non-dual in their perception of life and therefore the world. So what do I mean by non-dual? I found a great quote by Ken Wilber that relates both to our visual cortex and its constant use of boundaries and difference. And the first time I read it, it was like something inside of me shifted, like a center of gravity, a shifting from left brain linear to right brain holistic, that kind of a shift. And he says boundary lines of any type are never found in the real world itself, but only in the imagination of map makers. I'm going to say that again. Boundary lines of any type are never found in the real world, but only in the imagination of map makers. Now, there's a whole field of cognitive psychology that studies how we make mental maps in an attempt to impose order on those 11 million bits of information that we're surrounded and immersed in. Non-dual philosophy says there is just one eternal spirit in existence, and that everything in the universe was created by it and is an inseparable part of it. It says that any separateness is an illusion of the mind. Sound familiar? That could be taken straight out of any science of mind class. Our opening quote this morning was, "There is a universal mind, spirit, and intelligence that is the origin of everything, It is the first cause. It is God. This universal life and energy finds an outlet. That's my emphasis. Finds an outlet in and through everything that lives. That means it finds an outlet in us. Last week, Brother Lucian emphasized that God is in everything and in every situation. And while this is true, it is more true to say that everything is in God. It's a matter of perspective. When the human mind says God is here in this problem, then there's this unconscious inherent duality that says if God is here, then it's not over there. It's just the way our brains work. G.K. Chesterton wrote, "Your religion is not the church you belong to, but the cosmos you live inside of." If we can embrace a non-dualistic view of the world, we can see that all of creation is both hidden in and revealed by the world. Remember those optical illusions of the, is it a vase or is it the two faces? Both are true. It's a matter of perspective. When we're in duality, then it is either a vase or two faces, and we don't see the other. It's that black and white, this or that, good, bad, two basket thinking. When in non-dual thinking, we can see the image move between the two perspectives. We're open and flexible. Now, all of this, the long introduction, brings me to my primary point in speaking this morning. Are we able to see the events of January 6th and the current efforts to rewrite history? Can we see the death of George Floyd and all the others and all the anger and emotion surrounding those events from a non-dual perspective? Can we not so much focus on looking for God in the situations as knowing that the situation is in God? How does that shift in perspective feel to you? I know how it feels to me. When I'm looking for God in a situation, I feel separate, that I've lost view of the good, of the God. When I know the situation is in God and that I'm in God, then I'm not alone. Even if I don't understand it all, I'm held in a larger perspective. I have spent a great deal of time over the past 6 months gaining clarity and deepening my sense of being in God. I do not see, nor do I say that God is in my cancer. God in spirit is all of me, and all of me is contained and sustained in the presence of love. I am, my life is love made manifest, love made visible. So are you, by the way. You are love made manifest. You are love made visible. My tumor is a situation created by a belief. It's a partial truth that I have breathed into life, but one that does not support me. I do claim it as my tumor, Because if I do not own it or acknowledge it, then I have no power over its dissolution. I'm grateful for it has provided me an opportunity to stop and be still and listen in order to let go of a partial truth and open to a larger truth. And as my acceptance of the partial truth dissolves, so does my tumor, with a nice assist from modern medicine. And for those of you who missed my big announcement last week, the 5-centimeter tumor has now dissolved into a thickening. Okay, so it's dissolving. So given that, let's return to looking at the real world situations of January 6th and the many social justice issues we face. If we can hold to a non-dual perspective, then we have the opportunity to be still and centered and listen for that still voice within us. Then maybe we will become aware, really aware, and own that we are an outlet for spirit in the world, as Holmes suggested in our opening quote. If we can be that outlet, then we have a chance at seeing a situation so differently as to arrive at a solution that is not bound by the thinking that created the situation. We can fulfill Einstein's truth. Or to paraphrase the opening Joel Goldsmith quote, we can move beyond our current understanding of love and justice and mercy and hear God's idea of love and justice and mercy. We have the opportunity to follow Rumi, who says, out beyond the ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. And when the soul lies down in that grass, the world is too full to think about. Ideas and language, even the phrase each other, doesn't make any sense. And I don't remember ever hearing those last two lines. The first one I know about the field, but I don't remember the other two. It may be that I wasn't ready to hear them. I realize that the reason the phrase each other does not make sense is that it is dualistic thinking. We may look like individuals, like the two faces of the optical illusion, but we truly are the vase which creates the two faces. It's a non-dual both and perspective, not an either or perspective. Let me read the Rumi poem again. Out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. Beyond dualistic thinking, there is a field. And when the soul lies down in that grass, the world is too full to talk about. Ideas, language, even the phrase each other doesn't make any sense. I, who live in language, think that this is the value of that right brain, artistic, holistic way of seeing the world in pictures that isn't broken down into bits and pieces. Again, wisdom from Joel Goldsmith. The whole secret lies in making the transition from a thinking, plotting, planning, scheming mind to a mind at rest in a state of awareness through which divine ideas can flow. In such a state of receptivity, inventions, discoveries, plans, or whatever ideas necessary would unfold, and the ability would be given to us to carry these ideas into execution. This is what Holmes was talking about us being an outlet for the divine. So remember how we came to be in this place in our history, both personally and societally. Honor those who came before us. Say their names so they are not forgotten. Honor also who you were as a child, as an adolescent, as a young adult, for that is your history. And then stop and let go of the differences and boundaries and beliefs that lead us into duality and judgment, and look to the unity in which we all live. Love is that unity, and it sustains us all. It's not found in a situation. All situations are in love. It's like being a fish swimming in the ocean, wondering where the water is. It's all around us. It surrounds us. We cannot get out of it. And whatever situation we're dealing with is in there with us, within this love. And we can fall back and see things from that larger perspective. Now, I cannot change your perspective. I can, however, love you in such a way that I'm able to see beyond whatever beliefs are blocking you from seeing your own value and the value in all creation. I can be so grounded and connected in love that fear simply does not exist. How can I be afraid of another outlet of the divine if I focus on where we are and live and move and have our breathing, have our life, our living? I'm going to leave you with Howard Thurman's words. Don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive and go do it. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive to themselves. When I'm alive, when I'm doing what I love, then I'm living in the present moment, the eternal now. And in that space is perfect love and absolute creativity. When I live in love, when we all live in God, we are all outlets for the one spirit back of all creation. And all is right in the world. And it will be okay. Get the recording, go back and listen to that song, or go to YouTube and Google it. We will be okay. We are okay. So join me now if you wish. I know that there is only one. And I live in the continuous awareness of this one presence in all life. And so I fully open my heart and my mind to embrace the holy, holy way, the complete and integrated presence. And my body to realign with that wholeness so that I know perfect health. I allow my thoughts and beliefs to relax and realign so that I know harmony in my relationships and joy in my work and fulfillment in my life and abundance in all of my activities. I recognize this as the truth of my being. I put these words into the law knowing it is already done. And I relax into the arms of the cosmos, into the arms of love, and say thank you for answered prayer. And so it is.
Whether you're different, same ignorant or intelligent, whether you tell the truth, lie or embellish it, whether you live in gratitude or for the hell of it, it doesn't really matter, it's still one single fellowship. Whether you've been lustful or living celibate, whether you're an optimist or only see the negative, whether you're dead broke or rich from inheritance, doesn't really matter, we're made of the same sediment. Whether you got a family or single parenting, or you're Asian, African, European or American, whether you pray to God or atheist is irrelevant, cause what you got inside is the same as all your preference. It'll change your heart, it'll change your mind, and then you'll start to change. So keep loving everything you touch, everyone you see will soon become your family. Do you see yourself in the troubled and the homeless? Can you say everywhere you are is where your home is? Sharing your heart in the dark just like a lotus, letting your light shine bright so you can flow there. Everlasting love of grace like those did Jesus, Muhammad, Krishna, Buddha, and Moses, who carried the weight of the world upon their shoulders. So every time you fall down, go ahead and hold this close to your heart, cause you're a love soldier, and every time you get a chance, you pay it forward. Moving closer to heaven's gates, we're all soaring. Because of you, love is where we're headed towards. It'll change your heart, it'll change your mind, and then you'll start to change. So keep loving everything you touch, everyone you see will soon become your family. So keep loving, gotta keep on loving, gotta keep on sharing, gotta keep on trying, gotta keep on caring, gotta keep the light on through dark and despair, gotta spread the love where nobody cares. Gotta keep on loving, gotta keep on sharing, gotta keep on trying, gotta keep on caring, gotta keep the light on through dark and despair. So keep loving, it'll change your heart, it'll change your mind, and then you'll start to change. So keep loving everything you touch, everyone you see will soon become your family. So keep loving, gotta keep on loving, gotta keep on sharing, gotta keep on trying, gotta keep on caring, gotta keep the light on through dark and despair, gotta spread the love where nobody cares. Gotta keep on loving, gotta keep on sharing, gotta keep on trying, gotta keep on caring, gotta keep the light on through dark and despair. So keep loving, it'll change your
Good morning, all. I was having trouble with that mute button. We are offering you an opportunity to give, to be in that flow of abundance that is the truth of who you are, in this oneness that Reverend Patricia has just shared with us. And probably everyone knows there are multiple ways to give. You can mail a check. You can also go on our website and use PayPal or a credit card to make your donation to the Sacramento Center for Spiritual Living so that we continue to make our donations to you, to the uplifting of all of us. Thank you. Now join us in our affirmation. Stay muted, but say it and feel it. Abiding by the law of circulation and heartfelt gratitude, I affirm that I live in a creative and abundant universe that continuously flows in, through, and out as me, expressing as the ever expanding infinite good. And so it is. And now for our announcements.
Okay, so today we have our Board of Trustees meeting at 12:30. Please, everyone is welcome to attend. And our Wisdom Wednesday, it is this Wednesday, we're having a town hall meeting this Wednesday, May 26th. And please attend, because this is, to discuss our future reopening and how we're going to gather once again. We do have Debbie's book study, Debbie Putman, with the Richard Ward, The Universal Christ. It started last week, and so it is still time to join. I read this book. It's a rich book, so I can only imagine the book study, how fulfilling and enriching that would be. Our Women's Empowerment. This group has been in actions for 20 years, empowering women with education, with jobs, with clothing, support, daycare, you name it. It's a very powerful and much needed during these times group. And so on June 5th, we'll be gathering at Roush Park so that we can gather the clothes that they can use for interviews and such a thing, office supplies. And then we also get to see each other, which is so cool. So please, June 5th, 10:30 to 1 p.m. Our mental equivalents, Reverend Sharon is still working to put on to gather enough people for this. So if you are interested, please let her know. And then from there, she can decide the day and the time. So please let her know. So on our prayer request, there are two ways to send your requests that we all know about, right? We can go on our website and submit them there, and they will get distributed to all the practitioners and the ministers of our center. And you can also do it via our chat right here, right now. And we're also available for the 5-minute or 15-minute mini session during our community gathering at the end of the service. And now for our affirmation.
Yes, and thank you, Linda. And if you all stay muted and remember and put this in your heart for the whole week, this affirmation. I rise up and lead. I am someone's answered prayer. Yes. And now, with great gratitude for this service today, for all that everyone participated, and for all of you that have joined us, and all those that will join us through different medias. We appreciate it. We appreciate everything you do. And we are here for you, for prayer, for service, for chat, for prayer and counseling, if you like. So just take that in, that gratitude that we have for today, and bless each other, bless ourselves first, bless each other, and bless the world, for the world that works for everyone. And so it is. And join us for fellowship. Thank you.